Let's talk about Point Dread today on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures.
Here comes Point Dread and the Talon Fighter, including adventure book and story record with sound effects. Action figures sold separately.
Let's hear He-Man and Skeletor on the Point Dread story.
I, Skeletor, will finally defeat He-Man!
I'll use the Talon Fighter to stop Skeletor!
In a flash, He-Man's hurled through space and time.
Surrender to the power of Point Dread's Talon Fighter!
You win, He-Man, but I'll be back!
Point Dread and the Talon Fighter with record and storybook. You have to put it together. Action figures sold separately from Mattel.
Point Dread, the frontier outpost of Castle Grayskull, was released in 1983 and included a vehicle, the Talon Fighter, with a small playset, Point Dread. Packaged as Frontier Outpost Point Dread and Flying Talon Fighter, the set included Point Dread as a one-room base with the same gray-green rocky exterior as Castle Grayskull, and a perch on top for the Talon Fighter. Point Dread's upper half could be removed and placed atop one of the towers of Castle Grayskull, allowing the Talon Fighter to rest atop the castle. The Talon Fighter itself has a yellow-orange hull, a blue canopy, and red-orange wings with claw landing gear. Also included is a book and record set with one story on each side of a 7-inch vinyl record and a read-along storybook in comic format. According to designer Ted Mayer, the idea of the Talon Fighter was originally a concept for a vehicle that would have been included with what would eventually become the Eternia playset. It is also worth noting that it bears a lot of similarities to a 1983 Big Jim toy, Big Jim's Space Spy vehicle, which also features a radar dish on top and a handle in the back. The name Point Dread at one time seems to have been the name of Skeletor's base of operations, as seen in this concept art from the Filmation series guide, which says, Point Dread is a craggy peak emerging from the Eternian Ocean. It is an extinct volcano with a tunnel leading down to a fantastic ruined Atlantis-like city hidden beneath the ocean floor. Inside Point Dread, Skeletor keeps all of the treasures he's plundered from 1,000 worlds. There are also mines and construction sites waiting for the slaves Skeletor plans to take once he seized control of Eternia. But the heart of Point Dread is the Great Council Chamber, where Skeletor summons the sinister masters of the universe. The idea of Skeletor's home base being called Point Dread also found its way into some of the early storylines, such as this 1985 UK annual, which describes Point Dread as being Skeletor's lair. Perhaps when Skeletor's lair was identified as Snake Mountain, the Point Dread name was assigned to this playset. It is also in this guide that the Talon Fighter is described as an aircraft that only He-Man is able to control, and it can be seen perched atop Castle Grayskull. The picture also shows what appears to be the upper portion of Point Dread. Point Dread was never mentioned or shown in the Filmation cartoon, but the Talon Fighter was featured a few times, but it was only shown to be an aircraft with no particular special power. The storybook included with the playset includes two stories, The Power of Point Dread and Danger at Castle Grayskull, with artwork by the great Alfredo Alcala. These fun and colorful stories introduce us not only to Point Dread and the Talon Fighter, but also new characters such as Man-Faces, Trapjaw, and Triclops. A new vehicle besides the Talon Fighter was also introduced, the Attack Track. It is also worth noting that Zodak plays a prominent role in this one and only mini-comic storyline appearance. It is Zodak, riding the scales of justice, who shows He-Man the location of Point Dread and the Talon Fighter. This story differs from another mini-comic with the same title that was included with some of the figures. This is an entirely different story and origin for Point Dread. Although Point Dread was at one point intended to be Skeletor and his henchman's base, the Motu Bible written at the end of 1982 portrayed Point Dread as it was released that very next year. The Talon Fighter, a winged vehicle carrying 2 passengers, is able to execute death-defying aerial acrobatics. Equipped with a special bomb pack under its belly, He-Man can call the fighter when it's needed. Its resting place is atop a far peak called Point Dread, which materializes whenever the Talon Fighter comes to rest. Only He-Man has the physical fortitude and strength to control it. The flying machine will go out of control unless He-Man is in command. And here is Point Dread. Let's take a closer look at it. As you can see, it poses very well with the Masters of the Universe Origins figures. And inside you see seated there's He-Man and T-Lot, it's a 2-seater. This is a picture, a recreation of the cover of the box. Here's the front of Point Dread. Very good picture there in front of Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain playsets. The side picture, you can see very well the silhouette there of the Point Dread. Here's the back. You can see the cardboard insert for the control panel on the inside. Here's another side shot showing the profile there of the vehicle. Did you have a Point Dread when you were a child? Are you planning on getting the new Origins Point Dread when it comes out? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit like and subscribe. Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.